Well, Israel is losing some of the people it can perhaps least afford to lose. A new Israeli tax authority study shows a sharp surge in immigration among the country's highest paid professionals, including technology workers, doctors, and engineers. It raises fears in Israel of a deepening brain drain and billions of dollars in lost tax revenue. The exodus of affluent Israelis nearly doubled in 2023 and 2024 compared with the years before 2020, reaching record levels. This matters because Israel is a small country with few natural resources and depends heavily on human capital for both economic growth and national security. The top 20% of earners contribute 92% of the country's income tax revenue. Technology is at the heart of that system. The sector generates about 1/5 of Israel's gross domestic product, more than half of its exports, and roughly 1/3 of total income tax revenue through salaried workers. The Tax Authority's Planning and Economics Division examined income and tax data for working Israelis who immigrated between 2015 and 2024. It found that immigrants now earn about 50% more than the average Israeli before leaving the country. The study says the outflow increasingly involves highly educated professionals in the prime of their careers. Researchers say the data cannot establish one cause. They point to post-COVID-19 pandemic, labor market changes, political upheaval over the judicial overhaul, and the security crisis that followed the October 7 attack and the war in Gaza. Now, historically, Israelis often immigrated in search of better economic opportunities abroad. But the latest research suggests prolonged conflict and political tensions are now contributing to elevated departures. According to a Tel Aviv University report, nearly 50,000 Israelis left the country in 2025, the third consecutive year at that level, a trend it says could threaten Israel's long-term strategic interests. Now, the financial impact is significant as well. Annual income taxes paid by Israelis in the year before they left averaged about $166 million through 2019. Now, that jumped to roughly $400 million annually in 2023 and 2024. Now, the study estimates that the current trend could cost Israel about $233 million in tax revenue for each year of elevated immigration. Experts warn that if the trend continues at this pace, the annual loss could reach $3.5 billion within 5 years. The tax authority also found that Israelis in their 40s and 50s now account for about 20% of immigrants over the age of 20, up from 13% a decade ago. Now, researchers warn that losing high-skilled, high-income workers could create a cycle that becomes increasingly difficult for Israel to reverse.